Hi you all and welcome. Today we'll be designing a unicorn in the Procreate app for iPad. So grab your Apple Pencil and your iPad and let's get started. Click on the plus symbol, select screen size. We can leave it in this orientation. Click on the layers panel, which is the two squares button. Tap background color. I'm using classic, but you can use disc or harmony if you prefer. Select the sky color for your unicorn. Tap done. Click on the color circle and select whatever color you'd like for your unicorn to be. Click on the brush tool, and from the left, select the cursive A for calligraphy and monoline. Check that your opacity is at 100% and choose a brush size that you like. Two-finger tap to undo, three-finger tap to redo. Undo and redo. You can also use undo and redo on this panel. Draw a circle, leave the pencil on the screen. It will say ellipse created or something like that at the top. Leave the pencil down on the screen and place another finger, and you can continue to resize it like this. Lift up with your pencil and now you have a perfect circle. Drag your color into that space and drop it. Click on the Layers panel. On layer 1, swipe left, tap Duplicate. Click on the arrow tool and without touching any of these blue handles, somewhere outside, push until it's right about there. Click on the Layers panel. You can use your two-finger pinch to merge these together, or you can tap on the top layer and select Merge Down from the options to the left. From here to here, draw a curve, leave the pencil on the screen, and it will say Art Created or something at the top. You can tap here to edit the shape if you prefer. This will be the stomach. Here are the front shoulders, and here is the back end. Click on the brush tool to get out of that. You can turn the canvas if it helps you, and from here to here, we'll make a slight curve, and this will be its back. You can tap up here and move this around if you prefer. Here is the shoulder blade of the horse, unicorn in this case, and it's called the withers. Move this around until you like the placement. Drag and drop to fill the color. Use your two-finger pinch to turn it back this direction and snap to get back to large size. So from here down and from here down, we'll begin to build the legs. From here, just inside the circle that we made before, draw a curve down and hold it. It should say ellipse or something like that at the top, and here you can move it around. I'm trying to make mine be at this corner and right inside this line. Drag the color into that space and drop it. Same thing back here. Draw almost an oval shape, leave the pencil on the screen and it will snap for you. Tap Edit and move this around. So here I'm trying to get that circle edge with my oval, while also trying to meet that corner there. If you don't get it right the first time, just 2-finger tap to undo and try again. Drag the color into the space and drop it. Great. Let's begin to build the neck. From the withers up, or its shoulder blade, this will be a bit of a straight line and it will get covered with hair, so we don't have to worry too much about it now. And it can be perfectly straight for now if you prefer. Tap line if you'd like to edit the shape, and move these little blue handles around to where you'd like the horse's neck to be, unicorn in this case. Click on the brush tool to get out of that. From here up, you can draw a curve. It doesn't have to be super perfect. You can 2-finger tap to undo if you'd like, and let the application make the curve for you if you prefer. Tap here and move this around until you like the result. So it's wider here where it meets the shoulders, and then thinner up here where it's going to meet the chin and jaw. Great. Click on the brush tool to get out of that. Here you can draw a circle or an oval, whatever you prefer. Here I've got a bit of an oval. Tap up here if you'd like to edit this. You don't have to. Click on the brush tool to get out of that. From here you can just draw a line. You can make this part a little curved because it will be the snout. And a little chin here before it meets back up with the body. Drag and drop to fill the color. Don't worry too much if you don't like the shape, we can edit it. Like for example, mine's a bit too round up here. So to fix that, I will click and hold the eraser tool to get the same brush, which is calligraphy monoline, and I'll just erase some of this off the top. Not too much though, as that's where the ears will be going. Click on the brush tool. You can add your ears in however you'd like them to be. Mine is just a line and a curve, so I'll do another one over here, a line and a curve. 2-finger tap to undo and try again. I'll make this one a little bit bigger, I think. Drag the color into that space and drop it. Clean up your shapes by going over them or erasing them back, whatever you prefer. And it doesn't have to be super perfect, but if you want it to be, take the time to edit it. So here this line is a little bit harsh, but it won't matter too much because we will be painting over it with the hairbrush. But you can try to smooth it out if you prefer. Here there would be a little bit more muscle. You don't have to add it in if you don't want to, but I'll just go ahead and add mine in. And then here it would connect a little bit further down. So edit your shapes as you prefer and we'll go on. Great. Let's add the legs. 2-finger tap to undo if you ever get an extra mark like I just did. And here for the legs, let's just go ahead and draw in manually, which just means by hand, basically 2 rectangles on top of each other. Drag and drop to fill the color. Where those 2 rectangles meet, there is a little bit of a joint, so you can kind of push it out like that if you want to, but you don't have to. Here you can draw a little bit of a curve to give an indication of that kind of little ankle meat that they have. And for this, let's just make a kind of rectangle with a triangular point in the front. And then back up. Drag and drop to fill the color and smooth out any lines that you don't like. Two-finger pinch to get back to the largest size. Here I'll just smooth out some of my lines to make them a little less rigid, but you don't have to do that. Here on the back we can add another little bit of an oval. Edit if you need to or want to. Drag and drop to fill the color. Here they have a little bit of a kind of elbow. So let's draw a curve down. A little curve here. And then here's the elbow shape. Then it'll just be basically another rectangle down to the ground, leaving room for your other hoof, of course. Turn the canvas whenever it helps you. You can use your eraser tool to bring back any extra lines if you've got them. Like that for me was just a little bit too much, so I'll bring it back just a little bit and clean it up. Okay, here we can do the same thing. Add a little curve for the kind of ankle meat. Make a rectangle with a kind of triangular point on the end of it. Another curve back up, and drag and drop to fill the color. Great. Eraser tool, as always, if you'd like to clean up your edges just a little bit. Two-finger tap to undo if you accidentally overdo it like I just did. And turn your canvas whenever it helps you. Great. Click on the Layers panel, plus symbol to add a new layer. Click and hold this layer and drag it underneath layer 1. If you'd like to, you can add another pair of legs in the background, but you don't have to. Just remember to close your shapes behind where you can't see them. A little bit of a curve, and then the hoof. Turn the canvas whenever it helps you. Eraser tool whenever you need it, of course, and drag and drop to fill the color. If you want to do the other one, you can. And if you did one of them, you should do the other one. brush tool, and just add it in however you think it should go. Close the shape behind where you can't see, and drag and drop to fill the color. Color in any extra lines that you get. Use your eraser tool whenever you need it. Drag and drop to fill the color, and keep working with the shapes until you like the result. If at this point any of your shapes are a little funny, you can use the ribbon tool. It's also called the selection tool on freehand without color fill. To wrap it around a shape, click the arrow tool and use freeform to stretch it out if you need to do that, or to rotate it with this green bar. Click on the brush tool and then fill in any extra gaps. Great! You can use the ribbon or selection tool on freehand without color fill to adjust any of your pieces, as long as they're separated like this. Arrow tool to get out of that. Quick pinch to get back to largest size. Click on the Layers panel. You could pinch to merge these together, but if you want to include a shadow in between these legs, I would leave them separated. However, to keep them grouped together, swipe right to turn them all blue, then tap Group. Tap on this little caret to close that group. Click on the arrow tool and you can pinch to zoom out to see all of the edges clearly, and push this into the center of the canvas. Make sure that snapping is on if you don't have that already. So there's the approximate center for me. However, I would like for mine to be just a little further to the left, so I'll just slide it over a little bit. Arrow tool to get out of that. Click on the Layers panel. Click on the little caret to open the group. Two-finger swipe right on each of these layers to turn on Alpha Lock. You should see a little grid appear, and that means we can only paint on those shapes. If that gesture does not work for you, tap on the layer, tap it again, and then select Alpha Lock from the options to the left. You will then see the little grid appear. That means you're ready to paint. Plus symbol to add a new layer. This will be for your tail and mane. Click on the color circle and select whatever color you would like for those to be. Click on the brush tool. On the left, find either Materials or Touch-Ups. Mine says Materials. And choose one of these hair brushes to work with. I'll try short hair, flowing hair, fine hair. I'm going to use flowing hair for now. Change your brush size as needed. Make sure your opacity is at 100%. I've changed my mind. I will switch to short hair. There we go. That's much nicer. So play with these settings until you like the result. Add your mane in wherever you'd like it to be. And we'll go on. You can add in some bangs as well. And a tail. To make the tail appear to be further back in space, let's click on the two squares or layers panel, add a new layer, and drag it down to the very bottom, then add it in there. While you're here, you can also add some in the background here so that it seems like that hair is flowing. Click on the layers panel, tap on this layer, click on the brush tool, select the cursive A for calligraphy, and script. Choose a different color. I will use white. And add in different patterns and shapes wherever you'd like them to be. So I'm putting a kind of diamond shape here on the front of mine. And I think I will add speckles with a different brush. Click on the color circle and find whatever color you want for the eyes or eyelashes to be. I will start mine going like this. I will turn the canvas a little bit with a 2-finger pinch and try to add in a darker curve. You can do this on a different layer if it helps you. And try again if you don't get something right the first time. Click on the color circle and select a darker color. I'm choosing this one because it's darker than my pink. Click on the brush tool and select Airbrushing Soft Brush. Zoom into this space if you prefer, and change the brush size as needed. My opacity is about 82 and my brush size is somewhere around 1. So here I will try to indicate where the mouth and smile are. Two-finger tap to undo if you just don't like something. Add in a bit of an oval and an edge to the outside of that oval on both sides. And you can add a curve over there as well to indicate the other side of the nose. I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger for mine. Bring the brush size up if you prefer to add a little bit of shadow under the chin. Bring down the opacity if you prefer, something like 50% now. I'll add some shadow behind the hair as well. I'll bring that back up, make sure I have a small brush size, and add in some texture here to the face, as well as up here for the inside of the ears. You don't have to do all these steps if you don't want to. It's all up to your preference. These are just some extra steps to add some fun details if you prefer, but you don't have to do this part. Make it very big for behind the hair, or the mane, I should say. And small for behind the bangs. We can add some more of these kinds of detail lines throughout the piece. You don't have to do this, but if you want to, go ahead and follow along with me. Click on the Layers panel and tap on Layer 2 or the background legs layer. Bring the brush size way up and add some shadow back there so you can tell where one leg starts and the other stops. That's looking way better. Click on the Layers panel, tap back on that Layer 1. Using this brush at a different size, add in some of those extra line details if you want. So I'll add in extra lines at each of those kind of breaks where the muscles would be. And on the underside of most of these, like right there, for example. If you want to, you can use this kind of darker color on the hooves to give them a bit of a different color. You don't have to. You can choose a different color like gold or silver or whatever you like. And it doesn't have to be super, super perfect. Great. Click on the Layers panel, plus symbol to add a new layer. Tap on this layer and select Clipping Mask from the options to the left. You might want to change this large end to something like Add or Screen, but we'll find out. Place your finger on the white that you used before or find it in the color circle. Tap on the brush tool and select Spray Paints, Splatter, or Flicks, whatever you prefer. And add these in where you'd like them to be on your unicorn. Make them smaller for the legs and bigger for the back of the horse. Now if you're going to cover it with a saddle or something like that, you don't have to do so much detail. Click on the Layers panel, tap on Layer 2 or the background legs layer, and same thing, plus symbol to add a new layer. Tap on this layer and select Clipping Mask. Click on the large N and select Add. Tap to get out of that. Add in a few of these speckles wherever you think they should go. Great. Click on the Layers panel, click the very top layer, plus symbol to add a new layer. Click on the Brush tool and select the cursive A for calligraphy and monoline, or script, whichever you prefer. Click on the color circle and select whatever color you want for the unicorn horn. I'm choosing a kind of gold color, but please pick what you like. You can zoom into this area if you prefer. Draw a line and another line, and a curve between them. Then drag that color into the space and drop it. You can use your eraser to erase back a little bit to make it appear like part of it's hidden behind the hair. But don't make it such a straight line, make it kind of curved like hair would be. Great. Click on the Layers panel. Use your 2-finger swipe right to turn on Alpha Lock. If that doesn't work, tap on the layer and select Alpha Lock from the options to the left. Click on the color circle and select white or something different, and add in fun details wherever you think they should go. You can change your brush if you'd like. For example, I've clicked on the brush tool and I'm choosing under calligraphy script to make some kind of thinner lines. You can change your opacity, of course, if it helps you, and add them in wherever you think they should go. Click on the Layers panel and tap on the main layer. You can add a new layer above this or add it onto the layer itself. Pick a different color from the color you selected for the main and add in some highlights or ribbons, whatever you prefer to call them. And do the same for the tail as well if you prefer. Click on the Layers panel, tap on the tail, and add these in if you like them. If you don't like them, skip the step. Click on the Layers panel, tap on this little V to close the group. If something like that happens to you, no worries. Just press and hold this layer and drag it into the group and drop it. It should automatically go to the bottom, and mine did. Great. Click on the top layer within the group, plus symbol to add a new layer. Choose whatever color you want for the saddle if you would like to do this part. Click on the brush tool and choose monoline if you'd like perfect lines again. Turn the canvas if it helps you, and follow the curve of the unicorn's back. And make a kind of U shape underneath that. Drag and drop to fill the color. Click on the arrow tool and use freeform or uniform to resize as you need to, and to move the shapes around. Click on the brush tool to get out of that, and clean up any funny lines you might have. 2-finger quick pinch to get back to large size. With this, you can add some kind of like little dangling pieces if you'd like. Or you can use a different brush, of course. Click on the color circle and select a different color. Here I've chosen blue, and I'll just add this in as well. Click on the Layers panel, 2-finger swipe right to turn on Alpha Lock, and add this in as a kind of pattern if you'd like to. Great. Click on the Layers panel, tap on this little V to close the group, plus symbol to add a new layer. Press and hold this layer, let it jump in the air, and drag it beneath the new group. Click on the color circle and select a green for your grass. Click on the brush tool. On the left, find the leaf, which says organic, and on the right, choose wild grass. Tap to get out of that. Test your brush size and change it if you need to. Make sure your opacity is at 100%. Draw in your grass in a kind of hill form, back and forth, back and forth. Click on the Layers panel, plus symbol to add a new layer. Same thing, press and hold this layer, let it jump in the air, and drag it beneath layer 10, or whatever number this one is for you. Click on the color circle and choose a darker color. You can change your brush size, of course, if you'd like to, and add in some little extra hills back there. Click on the Layers panel, plus symbol to add a new layer. Press and hold this layer, drag it underneath. Click on the color circle, choose a darker color, and add in an even further back one. Click on the Layers panel, plus symbol to add a new layer. Press and hold this layer, let it jump in the air, and drag it underneath. Click on the color circle and select yellow. Click on the brush tool and find the cursive A for calligraphy and monoline. Make sure opacity is 100% and use whatever brush size you're comfortable with. Draw a circle, leave the pencil on the screen, place a finger on the screen, and lift up. Drag the color into that space and drop it. You can use your arrow tool. Without touching any of the blue handles, push it to where you'd like it to be. Click on the magic wand, find Bloom. My transition is max, my size is 30, and my burn is currently 35%. Place the pencil on the screen and push it toward the right as far as you'd like it to go. I've pushed mine to 60%, so I'll try changing the burn or the size. Adjust these until you like the results. Click on the Layers panel, add a new layer, click on the color circle and select a white color. Click on the brush tool, find the leaf for organic and rainforest. Add in your clouds wherever you'd like them to be. Press harder to make them more vibrant and layer over them until you like the result. Two-finger quick pinch to get back to large size. Four-finger tap all together on the screen to close all of your options. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. See you next time!